Okay, Alex? I want you to think about the most universally terrifying, heart pounding, sweat inducing conversation an adult can have in the professional world. A moment where you are sitting across from your boss. Your palms are literally sweating. And you are about to ask for something that feels deeply personal, highly awkward, and potentially career ending.
Oh, wow. That is a very dramatic way to start the podcast. But I know exactly what you're talking about. It is asking for a raise.
Asking for a raise. Yes. Specifically, the salary negotiation meeting.
Oh, that is a special kind of nightmare. On a scale of 1 to 10, my anxiety, when I have to talk about my own salary, is easily a 9. Maybe a 10, if it is with a manager I really respect. And I am trying not to sound greedy or ungrateful.
A 10. That is incredibly high. You are an intelligent, capable adult. You manage complex software projects. You deliver results. But the words salary review make you want to just work for free forever?
It is not just the words, Sophia. It is the entire cultural ecosystem around money. In my native culture, talking about salary is completely taboo. You just do not do it. You accept what you are given, and you are grateful. But here, the expectation is that you advocate for yourself. You are supposed to know your market value and confidently ask for it, and doing that in English, when you are already nervous, is a recipe for absolute disaster.
I completely understand that. Money is a deeply emotional topic, even for native speakers. Asking for more money feels unnatural. There is the fear of being seen as difficult, the worry that they might say no, and the awkwardness of putting a price tag on your own worth.
Exactly. And there is this unspoken pressure to use very specific, professional, corporate vocabulary. You cannot just say, I want more money because everything is expensive. You have to talk about compensation packages and market alignment.
Oh, I have a feeling you have a very specific story about this. Do not hold out on me. Tell me the story?
I was hoping we would skip this part, but I know the rules of this podcast. Okay, fine. It was about 3 years ago. I had been at my company for 2 years. I had taken on a lot of extra responsibilities. I was mentoring new hires, and I had successfully delivered a major project. I knew I deserved a raise.
Okay. Setting the scene. You have the facts. You have the achievements. And you have the confidence.
I thought I did. I practiced my speech in the mirror for a week. I wrote down bullet points. I felt ready. I scheduled a one meeting with my manager, David. He is a great guy, very supportive.
The classic "do you have a minute to chat?" meeting.
Yes. I sat down in his office. He smiled and said, Hey, Alex. Great to see you. What is on your mind? And my brain just circuited. All those weeks of practice vanished. I knew I wanted to ask for more money. I knew the term bump in my paycheck. But in that moment of high stress, my brain grabbed a similar sounding financial term I had heard in a movie.
Oh no. Alex, please tell me you did not do what I think you did.
I looked him right in the eye, with total, sincere professionalism, and I said, Hello, David. I would like to discuss a lump sum in my paycheck.
A lump sum in your paycheck.
Yes,
Alex? No?
I said it. I would like to discuss a lump sum in my paycheck. Because I have been working very hard.
I am losing my mind. I am actually crying. Do you know what a lump sum means in finance?
I thought it just meant a big amount of money, like a large quantity.
Wiping away tears, a lump sum is a single, complete payment made at one time, instead of in installments. It is usually used for things like lottery winnings, severance packages, or buying a house. It is not a monthly salary increase.
I know that now, but in that moment, David stopped typing. He slowly took his hands off the keyboard. He looked at me with a mixture of deep concern and mild panic. And he said, very slowly, a lump sum. Alex, are you leaving the company? Are you asking for a buyout?
I cannot breathe. He thought you were quitting and demanding a massive severance check.
I was so confused. I said, no, I am not leaving. I just want more money every month. A lump sum of money. David just blinked, let out a long breath, and said, oh, you mean you want to discuss a salary increase? Or a bump in your pay?
Laughing uncontrollably. Oh, Alex, that is incredible.
I wanted the office chair to swallow me whole. I just nodded, my face burning red, and said, ah, yes. A bump. Not a lump. A bump is good. A lump is for coal.
A lump is for coal. You went from asking for a raise to sounding like a Victorian chimney sweep in 3 seconds.
I did. I spent the next 10 minutes of the meeting trying to recover, stumbling over words like market rate and cost of living, feeling like the most foolish employee in the building.
Okay? First of all, that is a hilarious story. Second of all, I promise you, David probably forgot about the word lump 5 minutes later and was just relieved you were not actually quitting.
Logically, I know that. But in the moment, you feel so foolish. You are an adult, but you feel like a child who does not know the basic rules of professional finance.
I hear you. It is that gap between your actual intelligence and your ability to access the right professional vocabulary when you are under emotional stress. But let's look at what actually happened. You told him you wanted more money. He understood, and you moved on. That is a huge win, even if the phrasing was a bit dramatic.
I suppose so. But it made me realize how much specific vocabulary is tied to salary negotiations.
That is so true. And it highlights a really important point for our listeners. When we are put on the spot in a second language, especially in a high-stakes environment, like a salary review, our brains default to literal translations or mixed up idioms. We panic, and we grab the first words we know.
Exactly. So, please, Sophia, give me the toolkit. How do I ask for a raise without sounding like I am demanding a pirate's treasure chest?
Okay, let's demystify this. The most common B1, B2 salary negotiation phrases are actually quite logical once you know the context. Let's start with the one that caused the trauma. Salary increase or pay bump?
It means you want your regular, recurring paycheck to be higher. Got it. No single massive payouts or coal lumps required.
Exactly. A natural way to say this is, I would like to discuss adjusting my salary to reflect my current responsibilities. Or, I would like to talk about a compensation review.
Compensation review. That sounds very professional. What about when they ask what number I have in mind?
Ah, the dreaded number question. The key here is to not give a single, rigid number. You want to give a range, and you want to base it on research? You can say, based on my research of the market rate for this role, and my recent achievements, I was hoping to be in the range of X to Y.
Market rate. I like that. It takes the emotion out of it. It is not about what I want. It is about what the market says.
Exactly. It makes it a business conversation, not a personal favor. Another great phrase is total compensation package.
Yes, I have heard this. It means it is not just the base salary, but also things like health insurance, bonus potential, and paid time off.
Yes, and this is a fantastic negotiation tool. If the company cannot give you the exact salary number you want, you can pivot. You can say, I understand there might be budget constraints on the base salary. Could we explore other parts of the compensation package? Like additional remote work days, or a professional development budget?
Explore other parts of the compensation package. That is brilliant. It shows you are flexible and solution-oriented, not just demanding cash.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about the word leverage.
Oh, I know this one. In physics, it is using a lever to move a heavy object. But in business, I always get confused.
In business, leverage means using something to your advantage to get a better result. For example, I want to leverage my recent successful project to discuss a salary adjustment. It means you are using your success as proof of your value.
Leverage my success. That is a very strong, confident phrase. I like that. What about when they give you a number that is way too low?
Ah, the lowball offer. That is when they offer you much less than you expected. If that happens, do not get angry. And do not say yes immediately. You can say, thank you for the offer. That is a bit lower than I was expecting based on my research. Could you help me understand how that number was determined?
Could you help me understand how that number was determined? That is so polite, but it puts the ball back in their court. It forces them to explain their logic.
Yes, it is a very mature, professional way to push back without being aggressive.
Okay, this is making me feel so much better. I have a framework now. But Sophia, I have to be honest. All of this negotiation anxiety, it is deeply tied to a feeling of guilt.
I hear you. Say more about that.
Well, when you ask for more money, you feel like you are being greedy. You think, the company has been good to me. They gave me a job. Who am I to ask for more? It feels like you are betraying their trust.
That is such a profound and valid feeling. Many people, especially those from cultures that highly value loyalty and humility, struggle with this. But Alex, I want to reframe this for you.
Please do. I need it.
Asking for a fair salary is not being greedy. It is a standard business transaction. You are selling your time, your skills, and your expertise. If the market value of those skills has gone up, it is only logical that the price should reflect that. You are not asking for a favor, you are correcting a market imbalance.
Correcting a market imbalance? That is a really nice way to look at it. It makes it sound like a mathematical equation, not a personal demand.
Exactly, and honestly, a good manager respects an employee who knows their worth and can articulate it professionally. It shows confidence and business acumen. A manager would much rather have that conversation than have you quietly resentful and looking for a new job.
That makes so much sense. I usually just internalize it and assume that if they wanted to pay me more, they would just do it automatically.
But companies are not mind readers, and budgets are often siloed. Your manager might love you and want to pay you more, but they might not know you are feeling undercompensated until you bring it up. Communicating clearly is the kindest thing you can do for your own career.
They are not mind readers. I am going to write that on my monitor. But I still need to practice the actual conversation, so I do not freeze up or ask for a lump sum again.
Which is exactly why we are going to do a little role play.
Oh no, I knew this was coming. My imaginary spreadsheet of achievements is already making me sweat.
It will be fun. I promise. And it is great practice. I'm going to be David, your supportive but busy manager. You are going to initiate the conversation. State your case using your achievements. And propose a salary range. Without mentioning any lumps or coal. Ready?
Okay, I am ready. No pirate treasure, just professional business.
Perfect. Shifts posture. Adopts a warm, professional, slightly busy voice. Hey Alex. Good to see you. I know you wanted to chat today. What is on your mind?
Clears throat. Speaks calmly and confidently. Hi, David. Thanks for making the time. I wanted to discuss my compensation. Over the past year, I have taken on the lead role for the new software migration, and I have been mentoring 2 junior developers.
Yes, absolutely. You have done a fantastic job with the migration, and the team really appreciates your mentorship.
Thank you. Because of these added responsibilities, I have been researching the market rate for this level of work. Based on that, and my contributions, I was hoping to discuss adjusting my salary to be in the range of $90 to $95,000.
Breaks character. Smiling widely. Oh, Alex, that was absolutely flawless.
Really? It felt a little bit stiff, but I was trying to be precise.
It was perfect. You initiated the topic clearly. Discuss my compensation. You provided specific, factual evidence of your value, lead role, mentoring, and you stated a clear, researched range, 90 to 95,000. You sounded like a highly competent, confident professional.
It feels much safer to have a script like that. When I'm nervous, I either explain, I really need more money because my rent went up and groceries are expensive, or I just hint at it vaguely. I hope my hard work is noticed.
And both of those extremes are problematic. Talking about personal expenses makes it about your needs, not your professional value. and hinting vaguely means they might miss the point entirely. The direct, evidence-based approach keeps the conversation focused on your merit.
I'm definitely writing market rate and added responsibilities on a sticky note for my next review. But Sophia, what if they say no? What if they say, we do not have the budget right now?
Ah, the budget constraint. That is a very common response. If that happens, you do not get discouraged. You pivot to the future or to non-monetary benefits. You can say, I understand, there are budget constraints right now. Could we set a timeline to revisit this conversation in 6 months? Or perhaps we could explore additional paid time off or a flexible work schedule in the meantime.
Set a timeline to revisit this. That is a great phrase. It keeps the door open and holds them accountable for the future.
Exactly. It shows you are a long-term thinker who is willing to work with the company, but you still value your own worth.
That makes me feel so much more empowered. But I have to admit, even with the right words, the emotional weight of this is heavy.
What do you mean?
Well, there is this deep, seated fear of rejection. If they say no, it feels like they are saying no to you, not just to the number. It feels like a judgment on your entire worth as a professional.
I hear you. And that is such a valid feeling. Rejection is never fun. But Alex, I want to reframe this for you. A no to a salary increase is rarely a no to you as a person. It is usually a no to a specific number at a specific time, due to company budgets, fiscal years, or internal pay bands.
That is a really nice way to look at it. I usually just take it as a personal failure.
It is not a failure. It is data. If they say no, you now have valuable information. You know where you stand. And you can decide if this company can meet your needs in the future. Or if it is time to explore the market rate somewhere else.
It is data. I love that. It takes the emotion out of it.
Exactly. And honestly, the fact that you are even having this conversation shows immense growth. You are advocating for yourself. That is a massive victory, regardless of the immediate outcome.
I suppose so. I just need to remember that my worth is not determined by a single conversation in a small office.
Exactly. Your worth is determined by your skills, your dedication, and the value you bring to the table every single day. And that is incredibly admirable. Now, since we are on the topic of salary negotiations and advocating for yourself, I want to do a quick rapid fire scenario game. Negotiation edition. I will give you a situation, and you give me your immediate, natural, professional response. No overthinking.
Okay. My imaginary spreadsheet is ready, and I have left my lumps of coal at home. Hit me.
Scenario 1. Your boss says, we'd love to give you a raise, but we are freezing all salaries this year.
I would say, I understand the company is facing budget constraints. Could we discuss a one-time performance bonus instead? Or look at enhancing my professional development budget?
Perfect. Polite. Acknowledges their reality and immediately pivots to a creative, alternative solution. Scenario 2. You are in the interview for a new job. And the recruiter asks, "What are your salary expectations?"
I would say, based on my research of the market rate for this role and my level of experience, I'm looking for a base salary in the range of X to Y, depending on the total compensation package.
Excellent! Depending on the total compensation package is a brilliant qualifier. It shows you are flexible but have a clear baseline. Scenario 3. They offer you a number that is at the very bottom of the range you gave them.
I would say, thank you for the offer. Since I am bringing extensive experience in specific skill, I was hoping we could aim closer to the middle of that range. Around X. Is there flexibility there?
Yes, flawless. You express gratitude. You restate your specific value. And you ask a polite, direct question about flexibility. Scenario 4. You successfully negotiate a higher salary, and they send you the updated contract.
I would reply, thank you so much. I have reviewed the updated compensation package, and everything looks great. I'm excited to continue contributing to the team.
Gasps, Alex. That is a perfect, emotionally intelligent, and highly professional response. You confirmed receipt, validated the agreement, and ended on a positive, forward-looking note. That is C1 level corporate communication right there.
Really? I just used the phrases you gave me.
And you use them perfectly in context. That is how language acquisition works. You hear it, you understand it, and then you make it your own. You should be very proud of that.
I am definitely writing excited to continue contributing on my imaginary contract acceptance email.
Please do. And you know, Alex, this entire conversation really highlights something important about the language learning journey. We focus so much on the big milestones. But the real magic happens in these tiny, awkward, high stakes everyday moments.
The tiny moments.
Yes, the moment you initiate the compensation conversation. The moment you realize lump sum is for lotteries, not monthly paychecks. The moment you confidently state your market rate. Those are the moments where you are actually living the language. You're not just studying it, you're using it to navigate your career and advocate for your own future.
That is a really beautiful way to look at it. I usually just think of those moments as embarrassing failures. But they are actually proof that I am participating in the professional world as an equal.
Exactly. Every awkward question is a victory. Every misunderstood phrase is a lesson learned. You are building your confidence one salary review at a time?
One salary review at a time. I like that. I am going to use that.
You should. Now, to wrap up our negotiation survival guide, I have to ask, did David ever give you that bump in your paycheck?
Laughs. You know what, Sophia? Yes, he did. After that awkward lump sum meeting, we had a follow-up conversation a few weeks later. I came prepared with my research. I used the right vocabulary, and we agreed on a fair increase.
That is a huge victory. You faced the awkwardness. You navigated the vocabulary. And you succeeded.
I did, and if I ever have to do it again, I know exactly what to say. I would like to discuss adjusting my compensation to reflect my current market rate.
Laughs. That is the smartest thing you could possibly say. Thank you, Alex. This conversation was exactly what I needed. I feel so much more confident about the idea of asking for what I am worth and not feeling like an alien in the finance office.
I am so glad to hear that, Sophia. And to all our listeners out there, if you feel anxious about asking for a raise or negotiating your salary in English, remember this: it is okay to know your market rate. It is okay to propose a range, and you never, ever need to ask for a lump sum unless you are buying a castle.
And if your boss asks what you want, just remember, they are talking about your professional value, not a geological formation of coal.
Exactly. We will see you all next time. Keep your spreadsheets ready, your confidence high, and bye. Sophia.
Bye, Alex.